Welcome to Dr. Paul Kibisho YouTube channel. And today I want us to discuss a very, very important subject. And this subject will help you see the need for you to look at it seriously and critically so that you may be able to make some progress in your life. And what has made me to come up with this particular agenda, as has always been my case, is because over the weekend I was invited as the key speaker at a place called Larry. So I was the one who was taking people through what we call this. As you can see, I believe you can be able to see PCA Larry Presbytery Strategic Plan. So I thought it was good for me to come and share with you a few things so that you may be able to succeed in your life. Because the problem with us people, most of us people, by the way, we have no idea where we are headed. And I've been telling people, when some of us people succeed and you do plenty wealth than others, more often than not, people tend to give a lot of talk, which does not augur well. Sometimes people do fail because they don't know what they ought to do. It is for that reason that I thought it wise to come and share with you a few things on the benefits that arises from what we call having a strategic plan. And to make you understand what a strategic plan is, basically all organizations globally, they normally have what we call a strategic plan. And the purpose of a strategic plan is to give, or rather, in other words, to give you a guide, to guide you on how you want to achieve your various objectives. So most of us people, we operate without it. Majority of us Kenyans, we operate without a strategic plan. And that has been one of our key issues of undoing. You realize that when people talk about strategic plan, they have no idea on why a strategic plan should take a center stage in your life. And it is very, very important, and I'm going to share with you this information so that you may know why you require to have a strategic plan. You are individual. Every single company has a strategic plan. So why don't you have a strategic plan of your own? You ought to have a strategic plan of your own, because by having a strategic plan, it will help you a lot in life. And I'm going to share with you a few things. First of all, let me first of all make it clear to you that even doctors, when doctors are preparing for a patient to be operated on, the doctors don't just wake up one morning and they come to operate a patient. They normally have a plan. They have an operation plan. For information, people don't know, but it takes a lot of time for somebody to be operated on. The doctors normally meet and they discuss on the kind of approach and the methodology that they're going to use to actually operate this particular patient. Similarly, a strategic plan is a document that is prepared with everybody in mind, right from what we call the corporate level, the business level, and the rank and file level. And I'll tell you why a strategic plan is important. And before we do that, you just allow me to give you some of what we call the importances of a strategic plan. One, it helps you to agree on actions to be taken in order for your business to grow. So it makes you understand, why do we require this particular strategic plan? Why is it so important in our lives? Why do we require this strategic plan? So the why comes in and helps you understand what you require to do in order for you to grow your business to the next level. Then it tells you whom do we require to be able to propel this particular strategic plan to the level as expected. The other thing is what we call, how do we prioritize the financials that we have? What are the priorities to be taken into account? Because you have to look at what we call your finances so that you marshal this particular strategic plan. So how will it help you in terms of competing with your competitors? How will it help you? How will it address what we call the emerging issues on the market? So we are not talking from the corporate level. So one of the things that we do in a strategic plan is to come up with what we call a vision statement. A vision statement. And I normally tell people that a vision, where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? Why are you in existence in the first place? And then where do you want to go and how will you go there? So the strategic plan answers that particular question, the vision statement. So it's a very, very, even at your own level, you must have a vision statement. Like I have mine. I have a vision statement. So like now, my birthday is on Wednesday. I'll be celebrating my birthday on 22nd September. So maybe for those people who are quite magnanimous enough, and for those people who appreciate that age is a privilege denied to many, old age is a privilege denied to many, I'm going to wait for your messages of goodwill. And for those maybe who want to send what we call presents for my birthday, I will not hesitate to give you my number at the end tail of this particular video show. So we are saying it's important that you have a vision. Where do you want to go? How will you go there? What is required of you? How much is required? Who is required to play this particular role? Then from there, you come up with what we call a mission statement. So once you get to know where it is that you want to go, like, maybe you want to buy a piece of land. Then the question is, after how long? Where? How much is required? What must I do? What must I improve on? How should be my expenditure look like? Thank you very much, Madam Agnes Mushai. Extremely humbled. I appreciate your happy birthday message. I really appreciate that. So you look at what you call the mission statement. The mission statement tells you how. How are you going? What is required of you? How are you going to go there? So you see, very, very important. How are you going to go there? So a vision, you want to go to that particular length. Now the mission, how? The how comes in it's very, very important. Then from there, you undertake what we call SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis basically means, I know majority of you people watching me at this point in time, you understand what SWOT analysis means. You need to look at your strengths. What are your strengths? Number one, as an individual, because today I want us to dwell on what we call individual level, as much as I'll be marrying the two with what we call corporate. So what are your strengths? What are you good at? What can somebody claim that you are good at? Now, individually, after you do what we call self-evaluation, once you do self-evaluation, what are you good at? What can you be? What are you known for? What is your philosophy? What do you study for? So, what is your strength? What is it? What is your major definite strength in life? What are you good at? Then from there, you look at your weaknesses. What has been holding you from achieving your goals? Maybe you're a very good procrastinator, because what makes many people, even organizations, even individuals, never to go to the heights God had expected them to go, it is purely because of what we call procrastination. Procrastination. So the best thing that you can do, first of all, do what we call sensitivity and situational analysis. Look at yourself. Like now, me, I know myself very, very well. I have analyzed myself. I've even allowed somebody else who's my close friend, who is not biased, to tell me where my weaknesses are. Sometimes maybe I talk a lot. Sometimes maybe I share a lot. Sometimes maybe I share even, so those are the things. Sometimes maybe I'm overly ambitious, because personally I'm overly ambitious. That can be also a weakness. It can bring you down, because if you don't achieve that dream that you have set, if the dream is bigger than your resources and your capabilities and your competencies and your skills, it may become a problem. So one of the things that you must do, look at your individual inner weaknesses. What are your weaknesses? What has been holding you back? Some people say, I'll go to class. They have only been saying they'll go to class. They have never gone to class. Others, they say, I'm going to buy a piece of land. For 10 years, they have just been talking about buying a piece of land, which I have never done, as a matter of fact. Others, they say, I'll marry. You're not turning that 7 for heaven's sake. What are you waiting for? That's a weakness, because you're unable to make a decision. And I normally remind people, it is in the moment of decision making that you shape your destiny. And the speed of implementation dictates the level of success. And muscles get power with use. The more decisions you make, the more you become better in life. Some of us people, we are poor decision makers. I have met people who make decisions within 24 hours, they have reversed their decisions. I have several of them anyway. People who even commit themselves to be doing something, good as the idea was, tested and proved. You share with somebody more than 1 hour, 2 hours, and somebody has been keenly listening to you, and you have the information with you, but within 24 hours, they have actually decided on the decision. These are people whose success will only take the hand of God at the bare minimum. So what is your weakness? Maybe you don't know how even to save your money. You spend all the money that you get. You have no savings. You are full of loans. You have normal loan, emergency loan, capital loan, platinum loan, okoa jahasi. You have Furisa. You have even your cousins, your brothers, your sisters, your parents. You have loans all over, and those loans cannot be accounted for. That's a weakness, and a big one. You need to ask yourself. Sometimes I look at people. By the way, it pains me to the core. I feel so bad about it. There are some individuals whom I know, I will not mention their names, that I met in the year 1998. And sorry to speak, most of them have not made progress. You're not required to be, it is not rocket science. No, it's not rocket. Thank you very much, Mr. Moses Kimama. Thank you very much. And you can tell your friends to tune in, because I'll be spending maybe the next 30 minutes talking about this particular topic. So you see, I have a problem with the majority of us people. Why? Because you do not take time. Thank you very much. I accept your birthday wishes, Mr. Moses Kimama. Thank you so much. It will be on 22nd September, and I don't hide my age. I'll be turning 48 years on Wednesday, God willing. I thank God. I'll be turning 48, and glory to God. Being old is a privilege denied to many. So what is your weakness? So some of us people, even, I'm telling you, even in our own homes, even making a decision to put a gate, it takes you a whole year. Even having a decision to buy your wife a dress or to have your wife's hairstyle changed takes you 6 weeks or a whole month. It is not right. You must learn to look at your weaknesses. Now address those weaknesses so that you can convert your weaknesses into your strengths. So you look at your weaknesses. Let's look at the opportunities. When you start now coming up with a strategic plan, what are the opportunities that come alongside this particular strategic plan, whether at individual level or at personal, at corporate level? You see, opportunities are always there. The question is, and I've been telling people, money is all over. I know this one is going to surprise all of you watching me at this point in time. Money is all over. We have money all over. But one thing that I admire my former president for, Mwai Kibaki, he said, you must learn to commercialize your time. Remember, for you to make money, it takes you time, energy, and thinking. But many people don't like thinking. So what are the opportunities? Like now, I shared a few minutes ago that we are now entering into what we call the campaign period. How are you positioning yourself to make money, to make a kill out of this particular campaign period? You are not fighting for any elective post yourself. So what will you do? What are you planning to do so that you may be able to make some money out of this particular period of campaigns? So you need to look at the opportunities. What are the opportunities? For instance, I've been telling you people to put money in portfolio account, and I'll continue to repeat this. They are now giving at 24%, and maybe there is likelihood that they are going to give at 25%. Will you be a beneficiary? Are you just watching? Are you a spectator when others are making money? You know, it is so sad that it doesn't pain you so much that you've lived in the same maybe a rented premises for 10 years, and you're still comfortable there. That is not godly. There must be some progress. You must make some headway. So look at what we call the opportunities that comes with you now, starting planning your resources, putting everything into place. If it's a company, do you have the right human capital? Do you have the right strategies? Do you have the right pillars? How many pillars have you set? We'll be looking at the pillars shortly. What are the pillars that you have put in your strategic plan? Because every pillar has its own contents. If it is pillar number 1, financial management, number 2, achievement of my goal, number 3, the period, you must come up with what we call pillars. So you need to look at what we call the opportunities. Then the other thing is what we call the threats. Threats are all over. Like now we have the threat of COVID-19. Nobody knew that COVID was going to come. Now COVID is here with us. It has actually made some people commit suicide. Yesterday, you had a whole medical doctor, a doctor who holds an MBCHB, Bachelor of Medicine, Bachelor of Surgery, killed his 2 children, 5 and 3 years. Why? Why this? So you need to be very careful. And I've been telling people that when you see the manufacturer of an aircraft putting what we call the parachutes, they normally put the parachutes underneath the seat. It is because anything can happen. So be prepared for good things, but also be prepared for the worst, because anything can happen. So you need to look at the threats. What are the threats? Now you are aging. Yes, you are now 40 years, but you have nothing. That if today the employer, if you're employed, for instance, if the employer came and told you today that you no longer require your services tomorrow, some of us would collapse. Some of us would faint. We would require the services of St. John's Ambulance. Why? Because we have got no fallback plan. Because we have always assumed. Because last year, like now, the preachers that we have in Kenya today, I have no problem with them. I have no problems with them. I respect the men of God. Thank you very much, Sir Ken, watching from wherever you're watching from. But I'm saying this. When year 2020 was coming, 2020, the pastors, the bishops, the archbishops, they told us it is year of double portion blessings. Double. Now, whether it came double portion, you know what happened. So sometimes it is good to be prepared for an eventuality. Anything can happen. So you require to have a strategic plan that addresses what we call even those what we call other variables that you have no control over. So start planning. Then the other thing that you need to do is that in your strategic plan, you must come up with what we call long-term goals and short-term goals. So you start with what we call short-term goals, medium-term goals, and then the long-term goals. And you must create what we call a review mechanism. After every 3 months, every 4 months, you need to look at your strategy. Is the strategy gaining traction? Is it achieving the objective for which it was being formed? Is it actually achieving the very objective for which it was being established? So that you may continually analyze. Keep on looking. Keep on looking. Keep on looking. Then you must have what we call actionable items. Actionable items. What are you supposed to do at any given time? Where are you supposed to put your hands on? What is your responsibility on this? And then from there, something else that you must do, which is very, very important, and I want to share with you this, is that you must, if it is possible, you can use what we call the Michael Porter's theory. Allow me to, I'll be referring at the one biblical aspect. And I'll surprise you. So before I go to the biblical aspect of this strategic plan, I want to remind you something. And I thank God for Reverend Dr. Robert Wehenya, who preached at Rari when we were launching this particular strategic plan. As we speak right now, and I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet, I'm the chairman, monitoring and evaluation at PCA Umoja strategic plan. We have a strategic plan that is running up to 2024. I'm the chairman. And some of you are aware that I have a degree in strategic management. And I have used it. I will not share with you what I'm doing at the moment, but I thank God. And I'm telling you, if you listen to what I'll tell you today, so you must also create a department which is called monitoring and evaluation. Keep monitoring your strategy. Keep asking yourself, is the strategic plan that I have set aside making me a better person? Is it adding value to you? If it's adding value to you, continually do that. If at any given time you realize that the strategy that you set is not achieving your objectives, you can review completely and now go back to the drawing board, because you cannot continually commit sins, because if you continually make mistakes, those big mistakes will become a bigger mistake that will take you nowhere. So I want to take you to the Bible so that you may know why a strategic plan is very, very important. And I'm going to give you maybe about 7 points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points. Point number 1, to succeed in life, because I want you to have your own strategic plan. Mr. Edward Thuo, thank you very much. I want you to have your own strategic plan. And should you have issues with it, please come to me, talk to me. You know, the problem with Kenyans is that they don't like consulting. And I've told you in the past that if a man happens to have what we call a leg ache, they normally call their spouses and they say, Mama Wangari, can I have some Panadols? Can I have some painkillers? When you take painkillers, you do not address the problem, you are only treating the symptoms. And therefore, the very problem that made you to have that particular headache requires to be properly looked at and scrutinized. Otherwise, if you continually dilly-dally the way most of us people do, when you go to hospital and it is too late, you'll be told by the doctor attending to you, if you came early, we could not have amputated this leg of yours. But now because you have come and it is too late, we are going to amputate your leg. You lose your leg. Why? Because you never consulted. I'm telling you, when you write a composition, I'm a teacher by training. I've just left Tagasa University, where I'm going to take my marks for my students. And one thing I tell my students is that, why do we mark? We mark the exam. Once I mark the exams, to remove what we call the element of determinism, we have what we call external moderators. The purpose of external moderators is to see whether there is what is the standard deviation? How far had I deviated from awarding these marks to the utmost performance of the student? Similarly, you need also to have some time to consult. Thank you very much, House in Thika Road. I thank Jordan Mogo. I salute you. So what I'm saying is this. Number 1, because I want to be a little bit fast. Please note this. Things don't just happen. They are made to happen. If you fight a company like Safaricom, why is Safaricom making a lot of profits? You need to ask yourself that question. Why is KCB still there? Why is Equity Bank making profits? Why is ABSA making profits even in the midst of COVID-19? Why is East African Breweries still making profits? I'll tell you this, and please, I have told you, and remember, I'm trying to bring this issue to individual level, to your level, because the mistake that we do, even as we look at the corporate level, remember Jerusalem starts at home. We need to appreciate ourselves that we too need to have a strategic plan. I thank God for all those people who have taken my advices very, very seriously. I want to salute those people, the ladies that I talked to yesterday from all the way from UK. I salute those ladies I talked to from Jordan. I salute my brothers and sisters from Mombasa. I salute the people who called me from Nyeri this morning. I salute other men and women. I won't mention their names. Why? Because I can see where they are headed. Remember, I will tell you this: if you don't have a compass, you are like a headless chicken. Unless you sit down, evaluate yourself, and see how to incorporate even your spouse if need be. See how to incorporate your children if need be. See how to incorporate your think tank if need be. Because to succeed, it takes concerted efforts. If you want to make a progress in life, it's a matter of taking what we call concerted efforts. And I have told you categorically that things don't just happen, they are made to happen. And this can be found in the book of Proverbs 16 verses 3. So for those people who have got a paper and a pen, read like the book of Proverbs 16 verses 3. The Bible says, commit your plans to the Lord and everything else will be established. Put God first in your equation. So you see, things don't. So in your strategic plan, in order for it to succeed, it takes your concentration, it takes your presence, it takes your resources, it takes your time, it takes your seriousness, commitment, dedication, focus, and resilience and tenacity to make it to add what we call sugar to the cake. So number 2. You must consider the cost of the project. Let me tell you, anybody who has ever built a house, anybody who has ever built a serious house for that matter, what do you do first? You identify an architect. You have already bought maybe a piece of land. You already have an idea of the kind of a house that you want to build. So because you're not the expert, what do? You go to an architect, like what I did when I was building my house in the year 1998. I talked to architect Thiongo. I told Thiongo, I want a 5-bedroom house with a living room, with a sitting room, with a TV room, and a walk-in closet for my wardrobe. And he understood exactly that. So one of the things that we must appreciate at this point in time is that once the architect is able to get your aspiration in life, once the architect understands what it is that you want to do, he will be able now to go and, of course, liaise with somebody called a QS. A QS is basically a quantity surveyor. A quantity surveyor is the one who prepares you what we call the bill of quantities. The bill of quantities tells you how much money will it cost you for this particular project. And that is why we are saying the book of, remember this, the book of Luke chapter 14:28. You must consider the cost of the project. Do the calculations. What is the cost implication? Look and assess. So you don't just wake up. To succeed in your strategic plan, you must appreciate that you must do what we call the cost of the project, which has been properly expounded by the book of Luke chapter 14 verses 28. Remember, even God himself, God had a minister of finance is not a thing of just the other day. Judas Iscariot was the minister of finance during Jesus' time. And remember, when Jesus wanted money for the mission, Judas was more of an accountant. He did not want money to be spent. And there's nothing for free in life. So you have to pay even for those services. You have to pay the QS. You have to pay the architect. You have also to look for you must also look for an engineer. We have what we call the structural engineer, the electrical engineer. We have all engineers who come on the ground to check. So you must have also the project manager. Those are the things that you need to look at. Then we go to the book of Proverbs 16:19. We say that many are the plans in a man's heart, but the one that comes to pass is established by God. So we require to put God in our plans. We need God's help to establish the plans that we have set to achieve. So we need to call upon God to help us to achieve our the strategic plan that we have set to achieve. So we are saying in the book of Proverbs 16:9, in the hearts of human beings, we put plans, but God establishes our plans. So we need also to put God in our plans. It is not by power, it is not by might. It is by the Spirit of the Lord that we shall overcome and make it in life. The other thing that we must do in the book of, we are still moving on, Psalms 24. May he give the desires of your heart and make them to succeed. So you see, God, we also require, first of all, let God know what it is that you want to achieve. And the Bible says that God is going to meet the desires of our hearts. So what are the desires of our hearts? Our desires of our hearts is purely to succeed and to make it, and to see to it that we add value to our lives. We cannot continually be at the same level that we were 10, 15 years ago unless we have a problem. So the Bible says in the book of Psalms 20:14 that God is going to meet with the desires of our hearts. The other thing that we must remember, Proverbs 15:22, we must learn to seek counsel. To succeed, we need to seek counsel. Most of us people, we never seek counsel. We do not seek counsel. We do things our own ways. And that is where we go wrong. Many are devised, those people who seek counsel, they succeed. Integrate various professionals to the idea that you have. Seek to understand what is it that you can do to succeed. Very, very important. The other thing that you must always remember to do in the book of Proverbs 21:5, you must be faithful and diligent. Follow the plan to its logical conclusion. Do not leave things hanging. Be focused. Be serious with your work. You have to be very, very serious. And remember, if you do things in a haphazard manner, you definitely fail. So you must, remember, be faithful and diligent. Keep your eyes to the prize. Wake up early in the morning. See what it is that you need to do. Continually follow the plans that you have set aside for yourself. The other thing that you must do, this is very, very important. In the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verses 40, the Bible says, you must be orderly and decent. You must be very, very orderly and decent. Set your plans in such a manner that you can be able to follow and trace. You must be decent and orderly. You must be a person of order. Even the Bible says our God is a God of order. You cannot be a haphazard person and you expect to succeed. No. It's a very, very important pillar. Take time to evaluate, analyze, mobilize the resources, and keep on evaluating what you're doing. This brings on board the professionals to supervise your work. Don't just supervise it on your own, not lead it. And then, in the book of 1 Corinthians 14:12, it must be aimed at building your life. Store to build the hearts of the youth. Store to build the heart. What we mean by this is that whatever you are doing, in the final analysis, it will bring you joy and happiness. It will make you look back and say, yes, I was serious and I was able to come up with this. It has made me a better person than I was before. Seriousness is required. You require to be very, very serious. You require to be dedicated. You require to keep track of what is going on. You require to bring people on board who can help you adjust and, of course, align your strategic plan to the resources that you have, and then set timelines. One of the things that you must do in your strategic plan is setting timelines. You do not have the luxury of time. I'm telling you, if you set a plan for 100 years, a strategic plan for 100 years, you have a problem. In fact, as a matter of fact, we normally propose that a strategic plan should be for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, maximum 10 years, not more than that, 15, 20. No, you don't require to do that. So can you please, going forward, make sure that you have a strategic plan with pillars. Maybe another day I'll talk about pillars. And please be sincere to your call. Stay focused. Keep your eyes to the prize. Avoid those people who actually detract you from achieving your goals. Do not listen to the naysayers. Do not listen to those people telling you it can't be done. Because anybody who tells you it can't be done is actually your enemy number one. And then do not go establishing what we call forums to discuss your strategic plan with individuals, because some of them will actually be the source of your discouragement. You must be a very, very serious person. You must be knowing what it is that you want to achieve in life. You must, at the same time, you must keep in line with your objectives. If your strategic objective is to become financially independent in 10 years, then you have no option. You must continually look at where are we now? The first question is, where are we now? Where do we need to be in the next maybe 10 years? What shifts are needed to get there? What do we require to do in order to get there? What is our approach to achieve those successes? These are some of the questions that you need to ask yourself. Then you can come up with what you call activity model. Come up with an activity model. Come up with a tracking tool. Come up with a tracking tool that keeps on telling you, yes, we had set to achieve this within 5 weeks. It has been achieved after 4 weeks. Perfect. If not after 4 weeks, after 5 weeks. But you must always keep on tracking what it is that you're doing in your life. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to talk more on that.
I believe that those people who have an idea now of what they need to do, you need to look at your plans. You need to start now asking yourself, what is it that I must do to be able to succeed and to move to the next level? And I know in the fullness of time, we shall be somewhere. So kindly, should you want to have a professional advice on a strategic plan, how it is prepared, what we require to do, please don't hesitate to talk to me. What are the resources? Remember, for you to implement a strategic plan, there must be a budget. So what is your budget like? Who is going to finance this particular budget? Who are the people that you want to bring on board? What is it that is required of you? Those are the things that we discuss. So should you want more discussion on this, don't hesitate. Please make sure that you talk to me. Feel free to talk to me. I'll be more than willing to help you. And I'm going to put my number. I think you can be able to see my number on this wall. And I'm not going to give you now my personal assistant's number. I think I've given you this number a number of times, but only a few individuals use it. So you can get me on that number that I've put on my wall. That is my number. Talk to me. Let's see how we can help each other. Otherwise, it is not fair. It is not right for you to continually. I have told you in the past, this man called Mr. Albert Einstein said that the greatest form of madness is doing the same thing, same way, year in, year out, expecting different results. If you have been doing the same thing, if you are doing what you did last year, don't expect different results. If you were broke last year and you are following the same formula and methodology that you followed last year, the results will be the same in 2021, even in 2022, even in 2023. We normally say new mindset, new results. And I'll tell you this for free, that there must be some price to be paid. The problem with us people, don't like paying the price. That is even why many people avoid consultation, because they'll be told to pay something. But you see, the problem comes in when you realize you could have done something in a different way, but time is already too much gone. Why not take this time? Talk to us. We are professionals. We have helped many organizations to do their strategic plans. I have done it for many organizations. Even in my office, I've got so many photos of the companies that have actually helped to plan their a strategic plan. I'm an expert also in that area. Use me. And with those few remarks, unless there's any question, kindly you can drop your question. Remember, I'm preparing for my birthday on Wednesday. I don't want anything from you, just maybe telling God to give me more years to share this information with you. I have told you in the past that I know some of you know this, that not many people who are like called scholars share information like I do. And that one you can confirm maybe on my wall. Not very many people. And I am yet to see, apart from Dr. Jacob Kenyanjui. Dr. Jacob Kenyanjui is a pastor in US. I have tried to look aloud, but I have not seen. They normally they are normally conservative. They are conservative. They are conservative. They are conservative. Conservative. They are conservative. Sorry, let me just say that. Me, I like sharing the information because I know if I can help one single individual to succeed in life, if I can help one person to move to the next level, I know God will bless me. And this far, the Lord has blessed me. So me, I'll continually share information with you. Any information I think it is important with you, I'll share with you. Always keep your tabs on my YouTube channel. Recommend it for many people also. Recommend it to your friends. Recommend it to your. Of course, you know that my talks are purely based on facts and factual issues, and I have no problem you referring to any individual. So may God bless you. Now my number is there. Now I've given you the number that you can reach me directly, so that should you have anything that you want to share with me, that my phone is just here, 0722633021. But should you want to book an appointment to come and see me, I thank God I got a guy all the way from South Africa. If he's watching wherever he is, I want to thank you so much. He came to talk to me. He had a business idea, and he really wanted me to help him see what he can do to make that business come to pass. I salute you wherever you are. May God bless you. And those are the kind of people that we need. You must take action. Do not become a cousin or a fast cousin to procrastination. With those many remarks, in the interest of time, any question, you can drop it on my. Is there any question? Mr. Moses Kimama, Sir Ken, Edward Duo, Mr. Mugo, Jotham, Paul Kehara, Agnes Moshai, any question that you want me to answer before we part ways tonight? I want to sincerely thank all of you once again. Thank you for being my ardent followers and fans. I don't take it for granted. You motivate me. You make me see the need to continually share this information with you. Remember,
I repeat again, it is in the moment of decision making that you shape your destiny. And there is always a price to be paid. If you don't pay a price, don't expect to succeed in life. May God bless you. Shalom, shalom, shalom. God bless.